Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I know. This has been a very long-awaited video, and I am so excited to share my results with you guys. If you guys have been following me for this audition season, you know how rough it's been. This year, the job market was not kind. I'll just leave it at that. Audition season itself is already so challenging, especially with all the cuts in funding for the arts. It seems that finding a job in the ballet world has never been harder. This audition season, I auditioned all over the country, whether that was flying all the way to California or just a day trip to Chicago. Let me tell you, I auditioned. I really gave it my all this year. With all of that being said, let's get into the video. In the 25-26 season, I auditioned for 32 companies. 20 of those auditions were via email. I attended 8 open auditions. I was invited to 4, and I ended up with 2 offers. 2 offers after 8 weeks without a weekend to myself. 8 weeks straight of auditioning. And all of that on top of a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday job as an apprentice with Grand Rapids Ballet, which I'm so grateful for, and I'm not complaining, but those were very hard and long 8 weeks. I have a list of all the companies I auditioned for and the results. So let me read it to you. Starting off with the auditions that I only sent to via email, because it is impossible to travel to 32 companies in the span of 10 weeks. The first company I sent to, which was kind of a reach, but I just did it for fun, was Dutch National Ballet. And of course, I got no response, which is kind of what I was expecting. Not surprised at all with that. Oregon Ballet Theater, I sent an email to, never got a response from them. Kind of surprised because I did do their intensive twice in 2017 and 2018. So that one kind of stung. Alberta Ballet, rejected. Ballet 5-8, got no response. Diablo Ballet, I actually got a very sweet email from Diablo Ballet. Apparently their artistic director watches my videos, so if you're watching this one, hello. Unfortunately, Diablo Ballet had no open contracts for me this season, but they are a beautiful company, and I will definitely be auditioning again in the future. Pittsburgh Ballet Theater responded to me, but they had no contracts. The Washington Ballet, no response. Colorado Ballet, no response. Ballet Met, rejected. Portland Ballet, rejected. Oklahoma City Ballet, rejected. Ballet Texas, no response. Carolina Ballet had no contracts available. Eugene Ballet also had no contracts available. New Ballet San Jose, I just barely missed their deadline. Charlotte Ballet, no response. Richmond Ballet, no response. New Jersey Ballet, no response. City Ballet of San Diego, no contracts available. I have never been offered something through an email. That's not true. I have found the last 2 years of auditioning that unless you know somebody or can notify the artistic director that your email is coming, usually emailed auditions don't really go well. Or at least that's what I've found in the past 2 years. Now let's get into the open auditions that I attended this year. I attended 8 open auditions. I kicked off audition season with Atlanta Ballet on January 19th, and I drove all the way to Chicago for this one. It was my first audition of the season. I don't know if you guys saw my video, but I literally drove through a snowstorm to get to this audition. It was crazy. I would not recommend. Anyways, I attended their audition on January 19th, and I never heard back. Risked my life for nothing, but that's okay. Ballet Memphis, I attended on March 7th in Chicago as well, and I also never heard back from them. Didn't have to risk my life for that one though, which was nice. I auditioned for both Texas Ballet Theater and American Contemporary Ballet at the same time in New York City on February 14th. It was kind of fun to spend my Valentine's Day in New York though, even though I was alone. I did get an offer from Texas Ballet Theater, but American Contemporary Ballet never got back to me. And I will reveal what the offer was when we get to that part of the video. The next audition I did was for Sacramento Ballet, which I attended in Sacramento on March 14th, and I never heard back from them either. Quite unfortunate because their new artistic director, Teet, was actually one of the reasons why I wanted to become a professional ballerina. He guested at my home studio during the Nutcracker when I was just 13, and watching him and Sasha DeSola do Sugar Plum was actually the most jaw-dropping, eye-opening experience, and it's basically what made me want to start this career, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to dance under him, but that's okay. I'm definitely still going to audition next year. Avant Chamber Ballet had an audition in Chicago, which I attended on February 22nd, and I was rejected the next day. Then I attended Ballet Memphis on March 7th in Chicago, and I got no response from them. And then my last open audition was for Dayton and Boulder, which was also a simultaneous audition, just like the one in New York. Dayton Ballet never got back to me, and Boulder Ballet gave me a rejection. Open auditions are also very tricky, especially if you have no connections. I feel like it's almost impossible to get a job in the ballet world if you don't know anybody, unless you're like a child prodigy. But if you are a child prodigy, you were probably trained at one of the big schools and you probably know someone. Or you know your teacher who knows someone who's gonna help you get a job. You see what I'm saying? It's all about who you know. Unfortunately, it's not only about who you know, but it's also about if you're what that company is looking for, whether it's tall dancers, short dancers, soft dancers, really powerful dancers. Every company likes something a little bit different. There are some that have a lot of variety, but usually they have a similar style of dancer that they like. So I definitely try to take every rejection with a grain of salt. Maybe I'm not what they're looking for. Maybe they have no contracts available. It really does depend. And then on top of that, the stars just have to kind of align with if they have any positions available at all. Like if someone retires, if someone has a baby, if someone gets injured. It's all dependent on that. And that's how a lot of people get their jobs, honestly. Let's get into the interesting stuff. The invited auditions. I ended up getting invited to 4 different auditions. The first one I was invited to was for Smuin Ballet, which was very exciting. This actually happened at the very beginning of the season, which was really great because it kind of gave me a lot of hope for what this audition season had to offer. It ended up not having a lot, but it still did give me a lot of hope. I attended this invited audition in Chicago on the weekend of February 1st. So I drove 3 hours. Unfortunately, they did not offer me a contract, which was really upsetting because I was really hoping to get something with this company. Not only because of the fact that they pay their dancers $1,200 a week, which is very high for the ballet world, but also because they're located in San Francisco and my family lives in San Jose. So I would have been so close to them. And like, who doesn't want to live in San Francisco, right? I was very sad that I did not get offered anything, but not completely discouraged because they are a very high level company. Their dancers are very beautiful. Take it with a grain of salt. Stay positive. The next invite that I got was for Nashville Ballet, which was a very interesting experience, to say the least. I flew all the way to Nashville. I never got any information on what time the class started. I sent in my materials for the company, and I did get an email back saying, after careful review of your submission, we are thrilled to offer you the opportunity to attend NB2 class. So I was a bit confused because I did send for the company, not the second company. So I asked if I would still be considered for a company position at the NB2 audition. And the reply I got was, given the positions we anticipate having available and based on your video, the artistic staff felt that an NB2 class would be the best fit at this time to evaluate you in person. So at this point, I'm convinced, all right, they're not going to consider me for company. This is an NB2 audition. But at this time, I had no offers. So I wanted to go just to be safe and have like a backup plan. I fly to Nashville, I take the class, and the artistic director is meeting with everyone one at a time after class. There were a lot of other invited auditioners, at least 10 or 12 other people. So he comes out and he's like, hey, did I miss anybody? I'm like, yes, me. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of strange. I was invited to take this class. Calls me in. So I actually don't even know your name. What? You invited me to take this class. Very confused at this point. Then he goes on to say how there's no company positions available. Now I'm even more confused because I thought I was auditioning for second company. I guess I was auditioning for the main company now. I don't know. It was a very weird experience, and I basically told him that I would still love to consider an MB2 contract if that was something he could offer me, and he told me to email him and follow up so that we could continue our conversation. I did follow up with him twice, and I never got a response. So I guess it wasn't meant to be, Nashville. A little bit disappointing. The third company I was invited to was Golden State Ballet, which I actually haven't attended yet. That audition is going to be in May. The fourth company that invited me actually ended up offering me something, so let's get into the offers. The first offer I got was from Texas Ballet Theater for their studio training company. I think I'm a little bit too old for that, but I had to include it because it was still an offer. However, I will not be taking that. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Next season, I will be dancing as an apprentice with Ballet Rhode Island. I'm actually so excited about this, guys. It's not a company contract, which is what I was hoping for this audition season, but this apprenticeship does pay more than the apprenticeship I'm in now, which is really great. We're moving in the right direction. Moving to Rhode Island is going to be a little bit bittersweet for me. On the bitter side, we have moving away from Aurora. If you haven't checked out her announcement video of where she's going to be next year, you should definitely go watch it, but I will summarize it for you. We will not be living together next year, which I'm so sad about because she inspires me so much, not only in content creating and food, but just her overall energy and positive mindset. Like, it has changed me for the better. She's amazing. And if you don't know Aurora or subscribe to her, go follow her because I wouldn't have this YouTube channel without her. Another thing on the bitter side is I'm going to be on the opposite end of the country as my whole family and my boyfriend, which I am really bummed about. Not super excited about that, but I am doing what's best for me as a dancer and for my career, and I feel like that is really important. It's such a blessing to have people to miss. However, on the sweet side, Ballet Rhode Island is a beautiful company. They do a lot of amazing repertoire. The artistic director is a woman, Kathleen Breen Combs, who is a formal principal dancer with Boston Ballet. What a privilege to train under such an amazing woman. I'm so excited for what this season is going to hold. The company environment was amazing when I visited for my audition. Yeah, I only have good things to say so far. And Providence is the cutest town. I didn't get to walk around that much when I got to visit, but just from what I've seen online and what people are telling me, the city has a lot to offer. I think it's really fascinating, like with this job, how I've lived in 4 different cities the last 4 years of my life. Like, that's crazy. How many careers allow you to do that? Not a lot. So I am thankful for that. And while moving sucks and it's expensive, I honestly would not trade this experience for anything. I also just want to say that I'm so thankful that I even ended up with anything this season, because there are so many talented dancers out there that are struggling so hard to find a job right now. It's very, very difficult to get out of this second company apprentice stage, but I am determined to succeed in this career, and I'm crazy enough to make it happen. So cheers to that. I am a firm believer in the fact that if you want something bad enough, you will make it happen. Thank you guys so much for following along on this crazy audition journey. I don't know what I'd do without you guys. You guys have supported me through it. When I feel down, I go through those YouTube comments because you guys are like the sweetest little niche community that I could possibly ask for. And every open audition I went to where I got to meet one of you guys, it always made my day. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking by my side through all of this. And I'm so excited for what my journey will entail next season. Thank you guys so much for watching. It seriously does mean the world to me. And I will see you guys next week.